Joining me now, CNN political commentator and Republican strategist, Alice Stewart. So, Alice, when we look at all that, we know the main questions that a lot of people want answered. Is the White House ready for this?
Sure, and they've been anticipating this for quite some time. I think the key to this whole story was at the very tail end of that piece there where Comey, the FBI, and they've been critical of his termination. Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Valerie Jarrett have all said that they lost confidence in Comey's ability to stay in the position, and now they are up in arms about
people being upset over Comey being fired was both the timing and the way that it was done. So if the president was really that unhappy with him, the argument goes that it should have been done sooner if he was as unhappy as he says from the beginning. And there's also that point in the letter that the president put in there that says, I want to thank you for on 3 occasions telling me I'm not under an investigation. That's one of the things that will be asked because it wouldn't be appropriate for the director of the FBI to share that information.
Certainly.
The question of whether or not the president fully understands whether or not he had been briefed or let that briefing sink in when it comes to division of powers in Washington and what the job of the FBI director is versus, quote unquote, loyalty to the president. Is that a concern to you? If you were advising the president, what would you tell him?
Certainly any person in that position. Look, I think Republicans and Democrats across the board have had concerns about Comey's. Clearly, it was just a matter, not necessarily of his integrity, but it was a matter of how he was handling the probe and putting information out, whether it was during the campaign. Everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table. We'll be watching Thursday. Alice, nice to see you. Thank you.
Thanks, Erica.
Actor George Clooney and his wife Amal, we can tell you, are now the proud parents of twins. Having a little trip cross-country now for a look at some of the stories and really the video making headlines. Defense attorney Joey Jackson, the pictures, your heart just goes out to the family being there in court with these pictures being shown. And as Natisha pointed out, no real reaction, no real emotion from Michelle Carter. Is that something, though, her attorney would have said to her, we don't want you to have emotion or be yourself, or does that not get discussed?
It does, Erica, to be fair, follow it. There's an emotional component that you just can't get past. And Erica, if ever there was emotion, this case reeks of it.
Yes.
Wow.
Which is understandably why one would imagine they said no to a jury trial. I just want a bench trial. One of the things that really stands out here is to me, when you're dealing with a death that has been ruled a suicide as opposed to a homicide, but yet somebody is charged in that death.
In a horrific way, and as a result of that, did they die because of it? But to your point, that's what I'm stuck on, causation.
There is a mountain of evidence here, and we know that because we know that the defense, they were supposed to be on trial in December, and the defense said, we
do it because I encouraged you to do it, or did you do it because you took it upon yourself to live? That's the million-dollar question, and how that judge comes out will obviously determine whether she's guilty or not.
It is just, and at the end of the day, this is a heartbreaking, terrible loss for that family as they have to relive it, and just an awful, awful story. Joey, thank you.
A pleasure. Thank you.
We're going to shift gears a little bit here now. We've been talking a lot about where we come from here, the different anchors and hosts on HLN. Well, when I took a little journey back in time, my roots brought me to snowy Saint-Hyacinthe, Quebec, where I learned a little bit more about my family's history. Some of it may be surprising. Here's a sneak peek. Every single day, countless families, children are living the reality of what it means to be within ISIS-held territory. John, when you look at that video, what does it tell you?
It's just scary that you see someone having the life.
Who also called out the chokehold itself, saying it's problematic because the man who was on top of John Hernandez is married to this deputy.
In death because you didn't like what they were doing.
Do you imagine charges will be pressed here? Charges will be brought?
I think there'll be grand jury action.
It sort of leaves you without words. It really does. John Q. Kelly, nice to have you back with us.
Sure, good
Thank
to
you.
be back. Thanks.
Parents who believed in healing by faith are charged in their newborn daughter's death. Why did they not call 911? We're on the story next. A couple that believes in faith healing has been charged with murder in the death of their new. Thanks so much for joining us on The Story. I'm Erica Hill. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to tune in tonight for Our Journeys Home right here on HLN at 9 p.m. Eastern. Up next, Forensic Files. Have a great day, everyone.